Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I suddenly lost the button that let me switch the camera view. It's like, where's it gone? Welcome. We're into the afternoon now of BGTC UKVC. Oh, it started so well with that. Like I started really good, and it's got worse and worse as the weekend's gone on. Weirdly, the more beer I consume, it seems to get worse. So we're here. Martin and I are joined by Jenny and Andrew, the lovely team from Yay Games.
Yay! Hi there. Here we are.
I don't know what I was going to ask. The guy in the logo, is that Yay Mondo or is someone else Yay Mondo?
No, that's Yay Mondo.
Ah, that makes sense. Very good. So you guys are obviously well known for putting together really fun games that are like little neat, quick to play, but like lots of interesting things going on. And kind of, is that what you set out to do, or is that just how you've ended up there?
Well, thanks for that. That's a good intro. I like that. The whole reason that we got into all this board game designing was it's quite a long story. I'll sort of cut it quickly. Before doing board game designing, I was a writer. So I used to write science fiction and fantasy comedies.
Oh, wow.
Wrote a lot of them, had them all published. Things like The Sorcerer's Appendix and The Frogs of War, and so it's all very foolish, pun-related nonsense.
I'll be sure to tell Paul Harris.
Oh yeah, he'd like it. During all that, I used to go to conventions, including Compulsion up in Scotland, as a science fiction writer. So we'd go there and read stuff out and sell books and pretty much the same stuff that we're doing now, but with board games. The weird part was that I got to know a guy called Ian Lowson, and he wrote a role-playing game called Dark Harvest, The Legacy of Frankenstein, which is fantastic. Really, really dark stuff. It's all about Frankenstein being alive and well in about 1910. All of his science is still going on and going strong. He's basically taken over the whole of
Romania.
Romania, thank you. I knew I was going to get the whole of Romania, and he's taken it over, and the whole society is built up. So the rich society can basically become immortal by just stealing body parts from other people and working them together. The army has just gone crazy. The police state, it's a real nightmare. It's
Believe
fantastic.
me, this is the short version.
So Dark Harvest Frankenstein is brilliant, and it won awards. And then he's done a second one, and he's done a third one, and he's hoping to relaunch that on Kickstarter with the whole set pretty soon. But part of that was getting to know him as a writer, and one of the things I got involved with that project, writing flavour fiction. So just short paragraphs, short sections, just to add a little bit of flavour to what's going on. So I was involved in that right from the start. It becomes relevant now because he went to a convention down in London when he was staying with us, came back from that convention just filled with massive enthusiasm, and just went, right, okay, we can do another book, but Andrew, Jenny, we know how much you love board games and card games. You've loved them forever. How about if you wrote a game based on Dark Harvest? And that's where Frankenstein's bodies came from. So it's sort of a unofficial commission in a way.
Yeah.
My recollection wasn't that it was so much of a commission, more along the lines of, Andrew, Jenny, you're doing the board game.
And kind of went, how hard did that be?
Yeah.
So that then developed into the ridiculous thing that is Frankenstein's bodies. We got the concept together really, really quickly, and then tried to start getting the artwork going, trying to use some of the artists that Ian had used in his book. And that proved problematic because I wanted to get the body parts fitting together, as you know, the way they do on the covers.
Yeah.
And that was difficult.
They screamed.
Yeah.
Really screamed.
They said, we're quite busy artists. We can do all the other cards, but we can't do the body parts. So I ended up trying to work all that out on scraps of big pieces of A4. It wasn't working for ages until I saw Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. The guy in a circle. Yeah. And then it just went, I understand now. I can make this work. So I started just hand drawing all of these body parts on A4 sheets of paper, and then scan them in, and then had to learn how to do Photoshop. And it's just a ridiculous journey. But partway through it, it was just like, okay, so this is exciting. Let's take this to his publisher, who had published the books. They were kind of interested for a bit, and then weren't, and then were again, and then weren't again. And in the end, we just went, we put all this effort in. People have played it and loved it. Let's just do it. Let's just kickstart it.
Yeah.
Which is where we first met back in 2013 or 14.
13.
Yeah.
13. Yeah.
So that was your first convention now as well.
We went there the year before just to try and get more information about trying to work out who would be good people to actually manufacture. So we got loads of information from there and met up with some of the people who've just been incredibly influential and useful to us, like the guys from Wotan, the guys from Surprise Stare. Yeah. Everybody's just been really, really helpful. So that was great, because it was just, we've got this game, we're enthusiastic about this game. How will it go down? Will it be received well? And just the whole community is just lovely, as you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it never really feels like a competitive kind of community. It's always, everyone's very helpful with each other.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something we've heard time and time again, no matter who we're speaking to. Like, the retailers are all supportive of each other, the publishers and designers are all supportive of each other. Even the different conventions, we all have our own little community where we're just helping each other out as much as we can. And I think that's across the hobby. It's very unusual for a hobby of this size now. It does feel like we're all playing one huge cooperative game, where we have to try and convert all the people that don't know how good board gaming is yet. I think that's the
Yeah. But the other odd thing that I find really surprising is how designers help other designers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unheard of in any other industry, I think.
Yeah.
Certainly in the book world, that was all very, very much just like, I'm against you. Very much more styles a bit strong, but far less fluffy and friendly.
Yeah.
But the fact that we help each other design the games, because we want the best games to play.
It's because most of the designers play games as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. But you often find if you've got a really new designer, they're quite reluctant to show anybody else their game in case somebody steals their idea.
Yeah, that's a classic thing you hear constantly. Should I trademark this or copyright that or whatever? And it's like, just don't waste your money. You've put dozens, if not hundreds of hours into designing this game. Someone could take a core concept, but they still have to put those hundreds of hours to put that game around it. And by then, it will probably end up being completely different to what they appropriated from you anyway.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it, really.
Yeah.
But most designers, in fact, all the designers we've ever met have just been so friendly and more than eager to help other new designers.
Yeah.
So, it's not a case of somebody stealing from you. It's more a case of being there to help, to support, because we all want everybody to succeed. The bigger we can grow the industry, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's very good. Jason Froud is in the comments asking who let Andy out of his cage.
Tell him to get back in his...
Get back to work.
He's got painting to do. You've got to work.
Yeah, he should be painting.
And little Jess from Uncon says hello. Via Darius.
Hello.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But I would also say, like you guys, even from that first time that I met you, like we said, we can't quite remember Sands of Time and all that. But I feel like I've seen you at almost certainly every UK convention and some of the international ones that I've been to since then. And you're always such a positive influence on, wherever you are, everyone around is always lifted by, because you guys are so fun and so buoyant and so uplifting. And do a very good job of reflecting your name and the enthusiasm you bring to the hobby. I think
the last time I saw Andrew at a convention, I bumped into him at the airport coming back from Nuremberg, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Just randomly. I had no idea he was there, and then we met in the airport coming home.
Yeah.
He does get around.
Yeah, definitely.
He does.
But we can see the little Gruffalo poking out the bottom there, and that is like, there we go. Yeah. That must have been a pretty big deal to be able to get hold of that license and develop some of those games and that. Yeah.
Very exciting. Yes. A lot of that is down to this company called Mojo Nation.
Yeah.
And anybody who's interested in designing and getting into the games world really does need to check those guys out, because what they're interested in doing is getting designers and publishers together to do all sorts of interesting stuff, and they do loads and loads of workshops all over the place. This one was very interesting because they were branching out. They're basically taking people with really successful licenses and going, can anybody create something to do with that license? So what they set up was Magic Light Productions, are the guys who make the movies that you see at Christmas, like the Gruffalo movie. They own the licenses from Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. And this meeting that was set up was basically to say, we're approaching the 20th year. So it was set up by Magic Light and Mojo Nation to go, we're approaching the 20th year of the Gruffalo being published and 10 years since the movie was launched. People come along, pitch your license ideas to us, and we'll see what happens. And it was brilliant. So we went down to, I forgot the name of it now, Chessington World of Adventure, which is where it was held, which was great. So we got to go on the Gruffalo River ride, which was brilliant. And then we watched the Gruffalo, and then we had this morning conference. This was work. And heard the story about how Magic Light managed to get the license against, I think it was Paramount or Universal, I can't remember. Wow. But basically, brilliant story, which we might talk about another time. But anyway, Brett Gilbert was there. So Brett Gilbert's well known in the board gaming world. And we just met and chatted and stuff. And then come December, so that was September, come December, we both had ideas and we wanted to pitch those to Magic Light down at their office in London. So we both, strangely enough, had games and we were pitching back to back. So we met up in the coffee shop first, which is really nice. And then we pitched, and then we met up again and spoke about it. But it was really odd because we both came up with a game called What's a Gruffalo? So we both had the same name.
Wow.
But they were completely different, which is quite funny. So anyway, we pitched to Magic Light. Magic Light went, we like both of these games, they're really cool. And then the message came back that, yes, we want to publish both of them. And Andrew, you run Yay Games, so would you like to publish them for us? Oh, by the way, make it 3 games rather than 2. So we gave them 4.
Yeah, because I was about to come on to, there is actually 4 different games in the box, isn't there?
Yes. Nice. So it's just brilliant working with Axel's artwork. And, we got a whole massive bunch of download files. It was just quite odd, quite strange. So, the 4 games, if I can tell you about them quickly, this is, so there's a memory game. So this one's called What's a Gruffalo? So this is Brett's original idea. So what you do in this one, you've got 10 different tiles to match your Gruffalo picture, and each of these has got different bits of Gruffalo on the back.
Okay.
That's the poisonous wart on the end of his nose. That's there. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to be the first player to get all 10 pieces of the Gruffalo built. But I've got blue cards, the other players have got different colours. You scatter them coloured side up, in the middle, mix them all around, and then you've got to find the right bits. But the problem is that this is all determined by you turn over a card. So you turn over that and you look at the top bit here, and I can't see what it is.
It says purple prickles.
So everybody then picks one of their tiles up and looks for purple prickles. So there's 2 purple prickle tiles per set. So if you find it, you put it on the board. If you don't, remember what it is, it's wrong. And that's it. And there's a little wriggle in there, which is quite lovely. If you find the mouse, then the player who finds the mouse card decides what body part you're looking for. Right. So there's a little bit of interaction going on, and it's just really sweet, and people are loving it.
There's a little set collecting game with these. So they've got different colours for the different animals.
So if you remember in the game, in the story, the mouse walks through the wood and gets accosted by a fox and an owl and a snake.
Yeah.
And to frighten the fox and the owl and the snake away, he says, my mate's the Gruffalo. What's a Gruffalo? Well, I don't know. His eyes are orange, his tongue is black, he has purple prickles all over his back.
Yeah.
So I've broken down the cards into his eyes are orange. So that's one card. And then his tongue is black is another card.
And the third one is he has purple prickles, but there's positional information. These games are designed to start with 4-year-olds, so it's just giving them as much information as we can.
Do the games use components from the other? So there's 4 games in there. Do they each share components, or are they all completely independent?
Yeah, because the flip side of these Gruffalo boards makes up a picture of the forest going
Right.
way around it. So
that's really cool.
So that one is, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So that one uses these little mouse tokens, which are little score things, and that's a dexterity game. So you're using these cards again, turning these over, and you're going, right, there's the dark trees.
Yeah.
Hide your mouse in the dark trees. So you've got to flick your mouse onto the board, and
Okay.
it lands on the dark trees.
Cool.
It's there. So, we're back to the other one. His eyes are orange. You're just getting those little sets. So once you've collected a set of 3 cards, like his eyes are orange, his tongue is black, he has purple prickles all over his back, you earn a mouse token. You've got 5 mouse tokens. First one to get to 5 wins.
Okay.
And in your turn, what you're doing is picking up 2 cards and putting them down, or swapping one with somebody else. And that's it. So all the rules are really nice and really simple.
Lovely.
So a set of very, very simple, straightforward games.
Yeah.
Can be played with parents and their kids. And obviously, if you've had a few beers, it can make some of them interesting as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not that I recommend playing as parents with beer and their kids.
Darius is asking whether Tony Boydell had something to do with the game. Don't know why.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I thought he did as well,
yeah. So there's 3 of us. So that's one of the other exciting things about it. Is it's 3 really classy designers involved in this. So Brett, myself, and Tony. So a lot of that's been sharing ideas and working together on that. So
and Tony doesn't mix with children at all, so he certainly shouldn't. So are you looking into maybe branching out into like the Gruffalo's Child and any other Julia Donaldson books, or?
The door is open for any of the books or movies. I just haven't quite come up with the ideas for those yet. It's been quite busy and quite strange.
Well, I'm no doubt. Yeah.
I think I've said to you before, Mike.
So
we end up reading one of her books most nights with my daughter. We read Highway Rat last night, which is a good one. And then in the back, there's all the fronts of all the other books, and she's like pointing at Gruffalo. We don't actually have the Gruffalo books, but she's saying we've got the Gruffalo on the telly. Like, oh yeah, we do. Yeah. So
it's all very good.
Super fun, and you have done us a very, very generous deal for the Lockdown Knockdown, where you can currently get all available Yay games for £50 plus postage and packaging, where it's usually £90 or more. You were saying, I think. So, which is
way over 90. But so that's so Games from the Deep Dark Wood, Omino's, Snag It, our speed reaction game with a whisker of bluff that came out last year.
Yeah.
Sandcastles and Frankenstein's Bodies. That should be 5.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Marvellous and exciting.
Yeah, it's a hefty reduction.
Yeah, well, there you go. You've already had a sale just now. Chris has bought it. And you've also... Sorry?
If you don't want to buy all 5, then we're doing a special offer with the code BGTC20, which gives 15% off.
Great.
Any individual.
Yeah, which you can all see on the screen now, as well as the website. It's yaygames.uk. Yeah, not .co.uk.
Yeah.
.uk.
No,
.uk.
Yeah, as you can see on the screen. So head over there and grab yourself some of these fantastic games. Obviously, we've spoken quite a lot. I love Omino's. I would highly recommend that for anyone. wanted to go grab that. Jason, I think, is trying to be funny and is saying Andy should check out a game called Rolling Tides. It's pretty good.
I know it well. Rolling Tides is the American version of Ominos.
Yeah.
Just to let people who don't know Jason's joke.
Yeah. But that was done with a different company, and we were just chatting before as well that you're speaking to Gibson's as well about publishing one of your designs. Is that right?
It's beyond speaking. It's going to happen.
Awesome.
So this is really exciting. Gibson's are on a roll at the moment. They're just fantastic. 100 years old, actually, amazingly. But yeah, so this game is called Connecting London, and it's part of a range that they're going to be launching, relaunching, for Transport for London. So that's going to be coming out in January. And what Connecting London is a tile-laying jigsaw puzzle type race game. So it's a map of Zone 1 of the Underground with two attractions on there. And it's cut up into very, very strange individual shapes, which took me ages to try and work it out. So you just get one station per tile and not too much wasted space. Oh, anyway, what you've got, so you've got a number of tiles in your hand. So you start with 6, and they're all unique. So there's a map of Zone 1. And what you're trying to do is put down 1 or 2 tiles anywhere you want to on the board to connect either mainline stations together or tourist attractions together.
Okay.
And once you've done that, you get a part of your name badge for your particular railway line. So whether it's Waterloo or Victoria or Bakerloo line or whatever. And but what happens is, as you score the higher points, you get fewer and fewer tiles to play with, which is really, really simple. And that's it. It's just really simple. So you're just putting the tile down. If you make a connection, you score one of these points. If you don't, then you advantage other people.
Right.
And it's all information. So you've got 3 tiles to choose from to restock your hand, but all your tiles are out there in front of you. So it's quite strategic and quite sneaky. But
it's another one of those themes that seems to have just exploded a little bit recently as well. This game is not the only one I've heard of to do with like London trains or underground systems or something like that. Bizarrely, it's just another one of those, like pirates or zombies or whatever. It just seems to be growing.
Well, the one by Sebastian Bleasdale is great as well.
That's really good.
What's it called?
Oh, I forgot the name.
It's actually called London Underground or something.
On the Underground.
Really, really good. On the Underground. That's cool.
Yeah. That's a really good game.
And there's London and Berlin, and they're really good. Tried to get one of them at Uncon, and they couldn't.
Cool. Well, I'm going to have to leave there because we've got another interview in just a few minutes. But it's, as always, I could chat to you guys for ages because you're so much fun and very lovely people. So thank you for taking the time out, especially on a Saturday when it's roasting hot outside, to come and chat to us.
Sunday, Mark. It's Sunday.
Sunday. It's all blurring into one. This virtual convention feels surprisingly more like a real convention than I thought it would.
It really does.
I'm that tired by this point. I just hope I don't have to go and lug a load of tables around now. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Bye, guys. Appreciate it, guys, as well. See ya.
Well done for organising it all.
Yes,
we shall see you for real hugs at some point. Take care, guys.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Take it easy.